All right, we are currently holding in Megillah Daf Gimel. I'm going to start from Daf Beis Amud Beis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines from the Chavot, where the Amud Beis Amud Beis comes larger. Okay, so says the Gemara, Masnisin Delo Kaitana. The Tanya. Our Mishnah that says we read that a wall to from the times of Yehoshua bin Nun does not go like this Mishnah, like this Brisa. The Tanya, it says in the Brisa. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Karcha says, a wall to from the times of Achashverosh, Korin v'chamisha. So guys, you need to know this historical fact. Listen carefully. We have the times of Yehoshua bin Nun, and we have the times of Achashverosh. How much time are we talking about? So we have till the Jews built their Bayis Rishon, Shlomo Melech, till he built there were two Chorbans, Churban Bayis Rishon and Bayis Sheni. Bayis Rishon was built 440 years after Moshe Rabbeinu entered Israel. After Yehoshua ben Nun entered Israel. So from Yehoshua ben Nun entered Israel all the way till the beginning of Bayis, it was 440 years, I believe. Then we had 410 years, of the Bayis fully functioning, everything good. Then we had the Churban Bayis Rishon. So now we're at 410 plus 440. That is 850. Okay, so we have 850 years from Yehoshua ben Nun until the ending of the first temple, Bayis Rishon. Then from 850 to 920, there were 70 years of Galus. That's when the Jews spent 70 years with Achashverosh. Okay, and then they had obviously the whole story of the Megillah, and then they rebuilt the Bayis Sheni. So the Bayis Sheni was built 920 years from Moshe Rabbeinu. So Achashverosh's time zone is around 920 years from Yehoshua ben Nun. Yehoshua ben Nun is, and Achashverosh talking about a time span of 920 years. The Gemara is asking, we talk about a walled city. What's a walled city? So a walled city is from the times of Yehoshua ben Nun, and that's when we read on Tetvav. Or walled cities from the times of Achashverosh, and that's going to be 920 years later historically. That's crazy. Okay, that's the question. What is walled? Is walled from the times of Yehoshua ben Nun? So that's going to be very, very old, ancient walled city, or walled from the times of Achashverosh. Question. That's the machlokas. So our Mishnah holds in the times of Yehoshua ben Nun. The Brisa holds in the times of Achashverosh. I'm going to reread it. The Tanya, we have a Brisa. So we follow Achashverosh. Ask the Gemara, what's this svara? Says the Gemara, Ki Shushan. Ma Shushan mukבת חומה ממות אחשוורוש וקוראים ב-15, אף כל שמוקבת חומה ממות אחשוורוש קוראים ב-15. So he holds like Shushan. Shushan was a walled city from the times of Achashverosh, and they read on the 15th. So any walled city from the times of Achashverosh reads on the 15th. Ask the Gemara, Matani Didan, my time, and what's our Mishnah's svara? Says the Gemara, Yalif Prazi. He has a Gzera Shava. Prazi. What does that mean? So it says the word Prazi here in the Megillah, and says the word Prazi in Dvarim, which is basically the times of Yehoshua ben Nun. Ksivach, it says here in the verse, Al ken hayudim haprazim, v'ksivach in Dvarim, levad me'arei haprazi, harbe mod. Ma le'alan mukebet choma memot Yehoshua ben Nun, afkan mukebet choma memot Yehoshua ben Nun. So the Gzera Shava teaches us that we read from the times of Yehoshua ben Nun. Says the Gemara like this, that holds that we read from the times of a wall, from the times of Achashverosh. Why didn't he say like the Mishnah? Prazi. He doesn't hold the Gzera Shava. I saw a Gemara on Shabbos once that, I can't remember where, that says that we have not all Gzera Shavas are accepted. Some rabbis didn't accept the Gzera Shavas. So this is another source. So he didn't accept the Gzera Shava, so he stuck to Shushan. My timing. Why does our Mishnah hold that we read from the Yehoshua ben Nun? My timing. Says the Gemara, wait, what do you mean? My timing? The ha'isle prazi. We said we have a Gzera Shava. Says the Gemara, no. Hachi koma. Ela Shushan David Kaman. Shushan. Why didn't the Shushan? Did they read on the 15th? They should have read on the 14th because Shushan wasn't from the times of Yehoshua ben Nun, right? So how does our Mishnah explain that? Why did they read on the 15th? Lo ke prazim, lo ke mukafim. Omar Rove v'amri k'di shayni Shushan oel v'naseh banes. Shushan is special because Shushan had a miracle, and because it had a miracle, that's why it was a one-time situation that was allowed to read on the 15th. All right, next piece. Makes sense why it says Medina and Ir ve'ir. Aaron Neiman, he's definitely going to know this very, very well. I sat with him for like an hour explaining to him this one. So Aaron, if you're listening and you don't get this, I'm going to be very mad. Okay, very. Not joking. It says the Gemara like this. The Tan Didan, our Mishnah, it makes sense, the verse Medina Ir ve'ir. What does that mean? Why? Medina lechalek ben mukafin choma mimot Yehoshua ben Nun mukafet choma mimot Achashverosh. So it makes sense why the verse is saying Medina, two kinds of Medinas. What two kinds of Medinas? We have a Medina at the times of Yehoshua ben Nun, and we have a Medina at the times of Achashverosh. Now, what does the word ir ve'ir mean? Ir ve'ir nami, two different kinds of cities. What kind of cities? Ir ve'ir nami lechalek ben Shushan v'shar hayarot. So the difference between Shushan and other cities. The Shushan run on the 15th, and other cities run on the 14th. Ella, but according to Rabbi Shimon Karcha, Bishlam and Medina lechalek. Makes sense. Why we have Medina to differentiate. What's the difference? Ben Shushan v'shar hayarot. Right? That Shushan is on the 15th, and other cities on the 14th. Ella ir ve'ir lemayasa. What other difference does Rabbi Shimon Karcha have that the verse needed to add? What other difference does he have? Says the Gemara, no. Also, among the answer is like this. And according to our Mishnah, it does make sense? Like we act as if it does make sense, like all the words are used up, and only Rabbi Shimon Karcha doesn't have anything to do with the words. Why does he need the verse? Since we already have a Gzera Shava, us, we're the Mishnah. Yes, guys, we're the Mishnah. Our Mishnah has a Gzera Shava, so why does the verse have to add Medina to teach you? There's two kinds of Medinas, one of Achashverosh and one of Yehoshua ben Nun. Why do we need this? We already have a Gzera Shava. So from here is proof that this verse actually is talking about something totally separate. Ella, says the Gemara, talking about a drasha, a totally separate drasha. Who does? What did Rabbi Shimon Levi say? Guys, let's listen to this. This is going to be Daf Kamina to Daf Gimel Beis. Krach v'kol hasamuchlo, a city, a walled city, anything that's nearby the walled city. That's one thing. Second thing, v'chol haniraimo, anything that's visual, that you can see the walled city from where you're standing. Okay, nidon kikrach. So even though you're not in a walled city, you can see the walled city from where you're standing, or you're right next to the walled city. We'll see how close you need to be. But as long as you're one of those two categories, then you read on the 15th, even though you're in an open area, because you can see it or you're close by. One of the two is enough to read it on the 15th. Ask the Gemara, what does close by mean? What is close? What does the word close mean? Like the distance of Chamtan to Tveria, which is going to be a mil. A mil is a kilometer. Ask the Gemara, just say a mil. Why do you have to say it like from Chamtan to Tveria? Just say mil. Answers the Gemara, the shiura de mil kamahave kamechamtan to Tveria. The distance of a mil. If you want to ask yourself, how much is a mil? How do I know that mil is a kilometer? Yeah, for example, walk from Chamtan to Tveria, do the walk, toughen up, do the walk. That walk is the distance of a mil. So, okay? Alright. Now the Gemara is going to bring a lot of Haggadahs of Rav Yirmi, of the Gemara is going to go, Amar Rav Yirmi, ve'esemei Rav Chiya bar Abba. So it's either Rav Yirmi or Rav Chiya bar Abba, a lot of quotes of this style. So quote number 2, V'amar Rav Yirmi ve'esemei Rav Chiya bar Abba, Man tzapach tzofim amru. Mansapach, which is Mem Nun Tzadi Pei Chaf, they all have sofiot, right? They all have, when they're at the end of a word, they're written differently than when they're written in the middle of a word. A mem, right, is mem. At the end of the word, it's like that, right? So they change based on where the location of the letter is, in the beginning of the word, or the middle of the word, or the end of the word. Okay, so Mansapach is the ending of the word. Mem Nun Tzadi Pei Chaf have different spellings. Says the Gemara, Tzofim Amru. Who are the Tzofim? Rashi says the Nevi'im. Nevi'im invented this idea of changing the way we read it. Yeah, if these letters are at the end. Ask the Gemara, what do you mean the Nevi'im invented it? It says it in Parshas Vayikra, Eila mitzvos, these are the mitzvahs. That the Navi can't just create new things. Eila mitzvos, these are the mitzvahs. You can't come and add to the Torah. We already talked about this previous daf. We're not Christian. We just add to the Torah whatever we feel like, or subtract or add or whatever. We got this. We received it from Har Sinai, exactly precise. We don't budge. Right? I heard that there's 11 letters in the entire Torah Shebechtav where we argue whether it's like a Vav or is it a Yud, like letters, words we all agree for 3,300 years. We have the perfect book. There's a few machlokas between Temanim and Ashkenazim in letters, like an extra Vav here, an extra like crazy, literally letters. Whereas Christians have over 400,000 different girsas in their written Torah, or whatever they have. Okay. Says the Gemara, so there's no way that the Nevi'im invented this. Yeah, that's a first proof from Eila Mitzvos. Second proof, the mem and samech and the luchos they received in Parshas Yisrael. Benes hayu omdim. Sorry, not in Parshas Yisrael. Benes hayu omdim. Yeah, they were standing in a miracle, And the only way we can explain that is because the mem and the samech are like this, circular. So they have nothing to hold on to. Yes, because the scripture went all the way through the luchos. So just in the air. What do we see from here? That it had no legs, as in that it was mansapach. That was the way we write mems at the end of a word. So we see that this idea of mansapach existed already at Har Sinai. So when Nevi'im did not mechadish this, says the Gemara, you're right. In mehavehavu v'lavu yadei hay b'emtza teva hay b'sof teva. The people didn't know though whether we read it in the beginning or at the end of the word. V'asu tzufim v'tiknu ptuchim b'emtza teva ustumim b'sof teva. Says the Gemara, no. Sof sof ela mitzvos shen navi atid lechadesh davar me'ata. So tachlis, if the Navi is defining to us where we place the mansapach, if it's at the end or the beginning or in the middle, that's still a chiddush. You're still adding to the Torah. It wasn't clear, and now they're making it clear. How can you do such a thing? You're adding to the Torah. Answers the Gemara, no. Ela, third and final maskana. Shachachum v'chazru v'ezdum. People in Har Sinai received mansapach and they understood that mansapach we do at the end of a letter, end of a word. They forgot it. And the Nevi'im just did a gilu to remind us what was at Har Sinai. So they literally did not change anything. Okay? They didn't decide anything. They just revealed something. There's a difference between if I reveal to you a situation that was already there, or I decide to you the situation. They didn't decide, they revealed. Two different things. Alright, okay, next quote. This is a very interesting Gemara, guys. Targum shel Torah. Who wrote the Targum of the Torah? Unklus Hager Amro Mipi Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Yehoshua. Targum shel Nevi'im. Who wrote the who's the Targum of Nevi'im? Yonasan ben Uziel Amro Mipi Chaga Yischar Melachi. Three different Nevi'im. V'nizdazeh Eretz Yisrael 400 parsa 400 parsa. The land of Israel shook 400 parsa over 400 parsa. Yatzata bat kol ve'amra Mi hu zeh shegila stara lebnei adam. Who's this person that's just telling all my secrets to people? Because the Targum is like the Rashi of the Rashi of the Gemara is the Targum of the Navi, right? עמד יונתן בן עוזיאל על רגליו ואמר, אני הוא שגיליתי שסתריך לבני אדם. I'm the person that revealed the secrets to people. Now, גלוי וידוע לפניך שלא לכבוד יסיתי ולא לכבוד בית הבא. I didn't do this for my honor or for my dad's honor. I did this לשמה, אלא לכבודך עשיתי. Right? I did it in your sake. Right? Why did I do this? Listen carefully. שלא ירבו מחלוקת בישראל. That way there will be no more machlokas. The Zohar says that machlokas is klipa. It's the tuma. Machlokas are bad. Even though lamdis is a lot of fun and we love lamdis, at the end of the day, a machlokas is a negative, not a positive. So Yonas ben Uziel was looking forward. He said the reason I did this, I didn't do this lo lishma to be prestige and whatever and have have a nice Ferrari. I did this in order for you, in your honor. That way you would be your will, your expression of will would be clear. There would be no debate. There would be no tuma. Okay. ועוד ביקש לגלות תרגום של כסובים. יונס בן עוזיאל also wanted to deliver to us the Targum of כסובים. יוצא בסקול ואמרו לו ידייך. Stop. Do not do a Targum on כסובים. My timing. Why not? משום דאיס לי קץ משיח. Because if somebody learns the כסובים well, they'll figure out when Mashiach is coming. Okay? And that's why God didn't want the Jews to know when Mashiach is coming. So that's why he didn't reveal, that's why he wasn't allowed to reveal the Ketz Mashiach. That's why he wasn't allowed to write a Perush on Ksuvim. Look at the Maharal if you guys want to know for further explanation on this entire Gadata. I would highly recommend it. The Targum shel Torah, Unklus Hagerambo, ask Gemara. Unklus is the one that wrote the Targum of the Torah. What does it mean in the book of Zechariah, of Nehemiah? ויקראו בספר תורת האלוהים מפורש ושום שכל והבינו מקרא. So the Gemara explains. ויקראו בספר, what does that mean? ויקראו בספר תורת האלוהים, what does that mean? זה מקרא. They read the Torah, literally. What is the word meforash? Is a targum. They had an explanation of the Torah. V'shom sechel elu psukim. What does psukim mean? The hefseks. When do we stop reading? When do we put a decibel at the end of a sentence? Yeah. Ve'avinu mikra. What does ve'avinu mikra mean? Elu piskei ta'amim. The nigos. No. Right. All that. Ve'amril. The second opinion. What's the second opinion? Elu amasovet. Says the Gemara like this. We forgot the Targum, and Unklus re-brought us the Targum. So we forgot we had a Targum. Before Unklus was born, hundreds of years before he was born, we already had a Targum. Unklus, we lost the Targum, and Unklus brought it back to mankind. That's all. Ask the Gemara. Why, if the Pirush of the Torah nothing happened, but Pirush of Nevi'im is dazeh, the world shook? Says the Gemara. The Oraisa is simple. Everyone knows how to read the Torah. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, the stories, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Kres Samsuf. It's all pretty easy. It's pretty clear. The Nevi'im what are the things that aren't clear in the Navi? It says, the hesped of Jerusalem, the Gemara Masechet Sukkot Daf Nun Bet says it's referring to Mashiach ben Yosef. So on the hesped of Jerusalem, it's going to be like kamispad hadadrimon bebikat Megidon. What does that mean? Like the hesped of hadadrimon in bikat Megidon. Nowhere in the Torah is there a reference to that hesped. Rav Yosef says, if I didn't have a targum, I would have no idea what this means, right? The Gemara Masechet Shabbos Daf Chaf Ches on the bottom says that Rav Yosef was a master at targum in the Torah. So Rav Yosef himself is like, listen, I'm a professional here. This is my my hobby is to take apart the Torah, and I'm telling you that this verse is crazy unclear. He's saying, but luckily we have unclose to save the day. Okay. So this is the targum. Look, now we're explaining the targum. And that day of Mashiach ben Yosef, Yazgi Maspada, there'll be a lot of hesped in Jerusalem. Kemispada de Achav bar Amri, like the hesped that they did over Achav, the king of Israel. The Kotal Yossi Hadadrimon ben Tavrimon. Hadadrimon ben Tavrimon was killed Achav in battle. So the Jews cried. And the second, that's what the word Hadadrimon means. Now, what is the word Megidon? It explains. Beramot Gilad. What is Beramot Gilad? Unclo says, Ukemaspada the Yishai Baramon, which is the king of Israel, the Kotal Yosei Paroi Chagire bebikat Megiddo. Like Paro killed Yishayahu Baramon, okay, and that was also hesped there. So now we have clarity what Hadadrimon means and what Megidon means. Hadadrimon is referring to Achav, and Megidon is referring to Yishayahu ben Amon. But bottom line, guys, we see Unclus is very, very important, and the Navi is very unclear. That's why the world shook when Unclus explained it. Next verse. Daniel is saying that I saw the mareh and people with me did not see the mareh. They were very scared. Charada means fear. Ask the Gemara, who are these people that were so scared? This is the three Nevi'im. It says the Gemara like this. And he's better, and Daniel's better than them. So Daniel's saying, they're better than me and I'm better than them. The Gemara will explain. They're better than Daniel. How are they better than Daniel? Because the Inu Nevi'oi, the Iu lo Navi. Right? They were Nevi'im and he wasn't a Navi. Iu adif minayu. So what does it mean that they were Nevi'im and he wasn't a Navi? Rashi explains that obviously Daniel was a Navi. But Daniel didn't do Nevuah at a Kla level, just at a Prat level. He didn't do Nevuah for all of Israel, he only did Nevuah for himself. And Derech Hashem, the Ramchal, explains exactly what this means. Says the Gemara, so yeah, we explained that's the difference between Daniel and the other Nevi'im. How was he better than them? He saw the mar'eh, whatever the mar'eh was, he saw it and they didn't see it. So that means he was better than them. If they didn't see it, why did they get scared? You don't get scared of things you don't see. That's the Gemara. Even though they didn't see, their mazel themselves did see. Okay? What is their mazel? So the Ramban in Parshas Yitro and the Nefesh Chaim in Shar Aleph talks a lot about this idea that we have an angel that micromanages us, and the angel saw it for us, and that's why we got scared. I think I explained that correctly, I'm not sure. From here we can learn anybody who gets suddenly scared, if you suddenly get all of a sudden a fear. Even though you didn't see it, it's because your mazel saw it for you. As the Gemara Baita Kanti, what's the tikkun? So the Gemara says three different options. First, likri kriyat shma. If you can't read kriyat shma because you're in a dirty place, like the Meshulchan Aruch in Ayin Dalet, I believe says, Tzol Pei Zayin, he talks about all these halachas. What do we do? What we're going to do is we're going to walk away for almost away from this from where we're standing. Say like this. Say alachash. The sheep in the butcher area are fatter than me. Okay, so the Gemara. We said that we learned from the word Medina, Ir ve'ir, Medina is coming to teach us what Rabbi Shmuel Levi said, that we saw previously. Rabbi Shmuel Levi says that there's a Medina that's like this Medina, right? If you can see it, or if you're next to it. So I asked the Gemara, what is mishpacha? What is that going to teach us? Lemay also. And says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina, lehavi mishpachot kiuna beleviya, shmevatlin avodatanu ba'in lishma mikra Megillah. דאמר רבי דמרב, כהנים בעבודתם מלווים מדוכנם ישראל במעמדן, כולם מבטלים עבודתן, ובאים לשמוע מקרא מגילה. So we learn from the word mishpacha that even the Kohanim have to stop doing their avoda to come and listen to the Megillah. Tanan miyachiv b'braisa. כהנים בעבודתם מלווים בדוכנן, וישראל במעמדן. If you want to know what that means, open a Rashi, מצחת תניס דף חו"ו עמוד בייס במשנה. כולם מבטלים עבודתן ובאים לשמוע מקרא מגילה. They all have to be mevatel their avoda to come listen to the Megillah. מכאן סמכו של בייס רבי, שמבטלים תלמוד תורה ובין לשמוע מקרא מגילה. קל וחומר מעבודה. מה העבודה שהיא חמורה מבטלינה תלמוד תורה, אבל כל שכן. The Gemara says that we stop serving the Mikdash when we hear to read the Megillah. Says the Gemara, from here, Rebbe also said, also learning Torah, we stop learning what right in the middle of our Hespek right now. We stop learning to go rehear the Megillah. Okay? Kal v'chomer, as in, if the chamor, as in the avoda, we stop doing that in order to read the Megillah. Kal v'chomer, the kal, the learning Torah thing, which is kal, right? We're about to see that in a second. We stop doing that to read the Megillah. So what is more important, avoda or Torah, guys? Avoda, right? Apparently, according to the Gemara right now. Let's keep reading. Ask the Gemara. Wait. The avoda chamoram Talmud Torah, is avoda more intense, more chashuv than Talmud Torah? It says in the Torah, in the Torah, it says in Sefer Yehoshua, chapter 3 or 4, I believe. It says, "V'ktiv vayhi b'yomot Yehoshua b'Yericho." In the days of Yehoshua in Yericho, vayisa inav v'yar v'nei isha omed l'negdo v'gomer. And so he saw this person standing in front of him. The Medrash says it was the angel Matatron. That's the angel that he saw. The Medrash Rabbah brings cholak maybe on that and said that it's. Or the Ramban in Parshas Mishpatim said that that's the Sar Gadol. It's Machlokas Tanaim. And nevertheless, he saw this person, he saw this angel, he bows down to the angel. Asked the Gemara, so now the Gemara is going to ask us, 1 second, how did he do this? How did he bow down to the angel? We're not allowed to say there's a halacha, you're not allowed to say hi to your buddies at nighttime. It also says that we're talking about not in the city, but outside the city. Why not? Shema, Shedhu, maybe it's a demon. And demons, we cannot say the word Shalom, because Shalom is the name of God. So you can't say the name of God in front of a demon, right? So how did Yehoshua ben Nun say hi and bow down to this angel? Maybe it was a demon. Maybe, and why did he do this? That's the Gemara. No. Shiny Hasam Damarlei, Kani Sadat Tzva Hashem. The angel said to him, I'm an angel of God. As the Gemara, demon Meshakiri, maybe he was lying. Maybe it was a demon that was lying. Says the Gemara, demons do not see the name, God's name in vain. One of the 10 Commandments. Yeah. So he said two things. The angel said to Yehoshua ben Nun two things. One, he said, you guys didn't need to attack Yericho at nighttime. You don't do war at nighttime. So you guys could have done the Korban Tamid before Shkia, because you guys weren't entering battle in a few minutes. You guys weren't Tarud. And second of all, why didn't you guys learn Torah all night? If you don't go to war, learn Torah all night. Why didn't you guys just do nothing all night? Yeah? So now Yehoshua ben Nun asks him, Tachlis, on which Avira did you come to punish me for? On the Talmud part or on the Torah part? Amaglo atabati. I came for the second time, for the second reason. The second reason being the Talmud Torah. So what do we see? That what bothered God more? God is not the angel, but the angel is representing God. And Christians love using this, by the way, in their thing, as in we see that God can take a body and whatever. So I once debated a few nuns on this verse actually. Happen to remember. Bottom line is we see that the Torah is saying that what bothered the angel more, God, what bothered God more? Talmud Torah. Bittul Torah bothered him more than the Beis Mikdash. What did it say? What do we keep reading? What do we keep saying? It says in the verse that Yehoshua ben Nun went to sleep b'toch ha'emek instead of omek. Amar Rav Yochanan. What does that mean b'toch omek? That he sat and learned be'iyun that whole night. Learned halacha the whole night. Yes, there was halacha before Gemara. So what do we see? That Talmud Torah is bigger. Next piece. And Talmud Torah is bigger than Korbans. Why? The angel was mad at him for Bittul Torah and not for the Korbans. Says the Gemara, Lo Kashya, this isn't a question. If the Torah is of Rabbim, obviously Talmud Torah is the biggest. That's what Yehoshua ben Nun. Yehoshua ben Nun was a Gadol Ador. His Torah was for Rabbim. But for Yachid, right, for like me and whatever, and people that are learning by themselves, our Torah is less important than the Beis HaMikdash. Ask the Gemara, wait, but the Yachid Kal is a Yachid, or one person learning Torah, is that nothing? V'tnan, we have a Mishnah, Nashim b'moed me'anot avalot tapchot. Women, when in a velus, yeah, they want to be me'avel, one person that died. So on the Moed, on the Chagim, right, the Shel Shvagalim, me'anot, what does me'anot means? Means they make noise with their body, right, but they not avalot tapchot. Sorry, me'anot means they make, they recite some sad sentences about the dead, but they don't mitapchot. They can't clap. They can't make noise because it's too sad. It's too disrespectful to the Chag. If they're next to the bed, they can also do mitapchot. They can also hit their hands or whatever they did. The olden days, which was a sign of avelus even more because they were next to the dead person. But Rosh Chodeshim v'Chanukah v'Purim me'anot mitapchot. And on Rosh Chodesh, Chanukah and Purim, you can do all of it. What can't you do? Right? You can never be mikonen. Mikonen, Rashi says, is when one person recites a sentence, everybody says after them, which is like very, very, very sad and intense, and it's disrespectful towards the Chag. So we see, for Talmud Chacham though, you can do all these things. Talmud Chachams, we don't care. So what do we say? Talmud Chachams, we always respect them. Says the Gemara, Kavod Torah Kamos. We're not talking about learning Torah here. We're talking about respecting Torah. It's very different. Says the Gemara, Kavod Torah the Yachid Chamur. Talmud Torah the Yachid Kal. Different. If it's for Kavod Torah, it obviously overrides Purim. But learning Torah is not Kavod Torah, so that does not override Purim. Amar Rove. Okay, so now Rav doesn't see things that are simple to him and things that are hard to him. Amar Rove. Pshitali Avodah Mikra Megillah Adif. If I have to choose between Avodah and Mikra Megillah are obviously going to override Megillah Avodah. We already explained this. We already explained this from Rav Chanina. Talmud Torah, Mikra Megillah. If I have to choose between learning Torah and Mikra Megillah, also Mikra Megillah Adif. Rabbi said that Talmud Torah is less than Avodah. So if Avodah we stop doing for the Megillah, like we said in the verse, Mishpacha, obviously Talmud Torah, which is less important, we stop from Megillah. Now, Meis Mitzvah, guys, what is a Meis Mitzvah? Meis Mitzvah is when you see a dead body in the street and it has no relatives, nobody to deal with, nobody to help out with. So you got to deal with the body yourself. It's a Meis Mitzvah. How's the Gemara? Meis Mitzvah. Okay, so Talmud Torah with Meis Mitzvah. If you want to learn Torah with your Chavrus, you want to do Meis Mitzvah. What do you do? Meis Mitzvah Adif. So we have a Mishnah that says we stop learning Torah for the dead. Avoid Meis Mitzvah, also Meis Mitzvah Adif. Why? Why is Meis Mitzvah more important than Shemini Beis Mikdash? So we learn it from the Parshas Nazir. Talks about, it says that a Nazir cannot enter the cemetery for his sister. It says he can't enter a cemetery. Then it repeats itself for his sister. Why the repetition? What do we learn from the word achoto? If this person, this Nazir was on his way to be shochet at Pesach, or to be mal his son, right? And he heard shemet lomet. Maybe he can enter. Maybe he can get tuma. Amres lo yitame. He can't because he can't enter cemetery. Says the Gemara. Wait, yachol kishim shelamitame lachoto kachem mitame mitzvah. Maybe just like he can't enter a cemetery to visit his sister, for example, he also can't do a mitzvah. If he's a Nazir. It says lachoisoi. What do we learn from the word lachoisoi? Lachoisoi didn't mitame. I'm mitame meis mitzvah. He cannot get tuma for his sister, but he can do a meis mitzvah. So we see from here that a meis mitzvah is more important than. We see that a meis mitzvah is more important than the avoda, than the Beis Mikdash. Okay. All right, let's continue. Now we have questions. Mikra Megillah or meis mitzvah? What's more important? Mikra Megillah or the meis mitzvah? Haminayu adif. Has the Gemara. Maybe Mikra Megillah adif yishum b'lis minisa. Because Mikra Megillah is b'lis minisa, it's a big deal. Because it's honoring the dead. And it says the Gemara, after we questioned, we have the answer. Meis mitzvah adif damagmar. Why is meis mitzvah adif? Damagmar, Godol kvod habrios shedoche et lo taseh shebatoah. Godol kvod habrios is greater than anything any law in the Torah. And you guys are learning in Tivar, you guys are learning Elam Etzias. I'm sure you guys already know this in Daf Lamed Alpha, I believe, or maybe it's Lamed, I'm not sure. that we learn from the word Salamta, that sometimes Rashi brings it. Look at Rashi, you guys will remember from what you guys learned in yeshiva. All right, next piece. Gufa. That's what we said earlier. Tane. What is, so said the Brisa. You can be far but seeing, or close even if you don't see. So what does it mean? What does it mean? I see, but I see it, but I'm far. So it says like this. Makes sense. If I'm on the top of a mountain, I can see down kilometers away, right? So I still read in the 15th. Ella, what does it mean? How can I be close to you but not see you? If I'm close to you, I see you, right? Says Gemara, it's sitting in a nachal. Nachal like a river. So up here is the walled city, and he's down here. Down here, he can't see anything, but he's right next to it. And we said a mil, which is a kilometer. Let's continue, guys. A little more, we're done. Sorry for the length. A city that was that had yeshiva, and afterwards they made it mukaf, they made it walled. So it was first sat down and then mukaf. The halacha is nidon kikfar. It's like a village, not like a walled city. Why? We see that it has to be moshav il choma. So it has to, the yishuv was after it was already an il choma. First it was an il choma, then there was yishuv, and then there was first walled, and then people sat inside. Another sentence. A city that doesn't have 10 batlanim. Now, not batlanim like we think, guys that don't still learn, just fake it all day in the yeshiva. No. Batlanim people that the opposite. They stop working in order to learn. That's a batlan. Okay? So a city that doesn't have 10 people that stop working in order to be in the Medrash is like a kfar. Right? We don't treat it like a city, so they can go back to Mondays and Thursdays. Right? Says the Gemara. My Kamashmalan was a chedesh tanine. Ezo ir dola we already learned. Kol shesh bo 10 batlanim. Pachot mikan harid ze kfar. Says the Gemara. No. City is different. Krach yitzrich lei. A krach is not a city. Why? Afar gav demiklei me'arma. Because a krach is a place where people come from outside the world, and because people coming from the outside, they're definitely not working. Because people only work in their town. They don't work outside their town. So they're obviously sitting and learning. That still, we need to make sure that they have 10 kavua. We can't count the people that are. We can't just believe and trust in people that are coming from outside the city. They need to be people from the city inside, as dedicated to Torah learning. Okay. Otherwise, it becomes a village. Last 2 lines. Hold with me. A krach that got destroyed and then it got rebuilt. When it gets rebuilt, it's still nidon krach. It's still considered as a walled city from Tansi Shalom. What does it mean? If we're saying that it got destroyed, that the wall got destroyed, yashav in lo yashav lo. Right? Okay, we talking about a walled city because the walled city, even if we don't care, as long as it was walled during the time of Shubinon, even if it got destroyed afterwards, we don't care because it says in the verse asher lo choma, and we can be doresh lo lamed vav aleph as in lo, like no, it has no choma, it's still kosher because it once had. That even though it lost its asar batlanin, it lost its 10 people that sit and learn Torah all day. Once it regains its asar batlanin, it can go back to being I'm reading on the 15th, and it hasn't lost it forever. But